The goat of Phaya cave. Nurin never believed in ghosts. Not really. His grandmother had told him all the usual tales of Minak, who haunted her husband after dying in childbirth, of Phai Krasu, the floating head with entrails dangling like lantern strings, of the forest spirits who lured hunters astray. But Nurin was from Bangkok, raised on motorbikes, internet cafes, and American horror movies. Ghosts to him were entertainment, not warnings. So when he came to Chiang Rai on a research trip for his folklore class, he wanted real stories, the kind that locals still whispered when the markets closed and the jungle sang at night. He pressed vendors, monks, and wandering shamans for details. Most only shook their heads, refusing to speak after sunset. But one night, as the moon thinned to a sliver, an old man with cloudy eyes pulled Nurin aside at the night market. He smelled of betel nut and incense smoke. "You want a story," the man rasped. "Go to Phaya cave, but do not enter, not after dark." "Why?" Nurin asked, grinning. "Because that is where they sealed her, and where the goat still walks." The old man spat red juice onto the dirt and left. Nurin left the market the next evening, carrying only a flashlight and notebook. He ignored the stares of the villagers as he crossed the bridge toward the jungle hills. The air grew heavy as he climbed, thick with the sweetness of plumeria. Cicadas screamed, then went silent, as though the forest itself was holding its breath. Phaya cave's mouth yawned black and wide, framed by limestone fangs. He stepped inside. The deeper he went, the cooler the air became. His flashlight beam caught carvings in the stone walls, spirals, loops, and lines, forming half-completed yantra, the sacred designs monks used in spells. Some had been defaced, gouged as though by claws. Others glowed faintly, like ash smoldering after a fire. At the heart of the cave stood an altar of cracked teak wood. On it rested a small bronze bell, tarnished black, and the skull of a goat, its curling horns still sharp. Dried red stains darkened the floor. Nurin bent closer, scribbling notes. That was when he heard it. A low bleat. From the darkness shuffled a goat, its hooves clacking unnaturally loud against the stone. Its fur was patchy, gray, and its eyes glowed pale green, like old jade glass. It stopped at the altar and lowered its head, as if in prayer. Then the chanting began. The sound did not come from the goat's mouth. It came from the air itself, vibrating through the walls, like monks reciting a sutra. But warped, syllables bent into something harsh and sharp. Nurin's ears rang. His stomach turned. He dropped his notebook. That was when he saw her. A woman in a white fa sin skirt floated from the shadows. Her hair streamed behind her like black smoke, her face pale and hollow-eyed. She drifted above the ground, hands outstretched. Her mouth did not move, but her voice filled the cave. Who broke the seal? Nurin stumbled backward, but the goat blocked his path, bleeding once more. Its breath was hot, sour, too human. He looked again at the carvings, realizing with horror what they were. Not protection, but a binding. Someone had trapped the spirit here, tethering her to the goat as a vessel. The broken yantra meant the spell was failing. The woman's eyes burned red. Blood dripped like tears down her face. "He was mine," she whispered in his mind. "They took him from me. They gave me the goat." The chanting grew louder. The air pulsed. The bronze bell on the altar began to tremble, then rang by itself, sharp and hollow. Naren turned to run. He sprinted through the tunnel, the flashlight swinging wildly. Behind him, hooves clattered. The sound was wrong, too many hooves, as if a herd were chasing him, though he had seen only one goat. He burst out into the jungle, gasping. The night air felt thin, poisoned. He ran down the hillside, branches slapping his face, until he stumbled into the market road. Villagers found him at dawn, barefoot, eyes wide, muttering to himself. His notebook was gone. His flashlight lay cracked beside him. At first they thought he had simply gone mad from fear. But when they leaned close, they heard him whispering over and over the same chant the goat had spoken. Words that were not Thai, not Pali, not any language they knew. The old man, with cloudy eyes, sighed when they told him. "The cave has another vessel now," he said. "To this day, on nights when the moon is thin, market goers sometimes hear a bleating in the distance, echoing from the hills. Some say it's just a stray animal. Others insist it's Nurin, his voice carried on the wind, chanting spells no one dares translate. And in Phaya cave, the altar still waits. The goat's skull still rests on it. Sometimes villagers claim its jaw moves, as if laughing